Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real today. Have you ever wondered what actually makes a woman lose control in bed? Not just the basics, not the usual. I'm talking about those secret moves that unlock her deepest pleasure and create an unforgettable night. Before any physical touch even begins, the real magic happens in the mind. You may be wondering, what does this mean? Let me explain it to you. If you think physical pleasure starts the moment you touch her skin, well, you're missing out on the real power of intimacy. Desire is mental first. It all begins with the connection between you two. Think about it, we are emotional creatures, not just physical bodies. A woman's body won't respond to you unless her mind and emotions are fully in tune with you. This is why building that emotional connection is so important before you even think about taking her clothes off. If you don't understand that connection, your movements in the bedroom will always feel superficial, no matter how skilled you are physically. When a woman feels connected to you emotionally, when she trusts you, when she feels seen and heard by you, then and only then will her body truly open up. Have you ever felt the difference between a woman who's emotionally engaged with you and one who isn't? It's night and day, isn't it? One feels alive, electric, while the other feels like a performance, where the energy is off and there's just no flow. Do you know what makes her feel connected? It's not just how often you text her or how many compliments you give her. It's how you listen to her. Do you actively listen to her words, her needs, her desires? Are you truly paying attention to her body language? Or are you just waiting for your turn to speak? Emotional connection starts with active, real listening. It's in those moments where you don't just hear her, you feel her. I know it sounds simple, but it's often overlooked. When was the last time you stopped and really looked at her, not as a desire to be conquered, but as a woman who deserves respect and attention? You see, the little things matter. Touch her hand softly, look into her eyes for longer than a few seconds, ask her how her day went. These aren't just things you do for the sake of it. These are the building blocks of true intimacy. And let me remind you, this is where trust is built. This connection doesn't just make her feel loved, it makes her feel safe. Safety is a critical ingredient for any woman to feel confident enough to surrender completely. Have you ever been in a situation where you weren't sure if you could fully trust someone? How uncomfortable was that? Well, imagine that same feeling in a situation that's deeply intimate, vulnerable, and exposed. If she doesn't feel emotionally safe, her body will not respond the way you expect. Simple as that. This emotional foundation also gives her something deeper, anticipation. You see, the more you connect with her outside the bedroom, the more the desire builds inside her. When you're finally in bed together, the excitement, the spark, it's all an extension of the emotional bond you've nurtured. Have you ever heard someone say, "I can't wait to be with you"? What do you think that means? It means they've already started feeling that emotional connection long before any physical touch happens. I'll tell you this, physical attraction alone is not sustainable. Attraction fades over time unless there's a deeper emotional foundation to keep it alive. You don't need to be the most physically attractive man in the room. You just need to be the most emotionally present. When you connect with her mind first, the rest of her follows. And that connection doesn't just start in the bedroom. It's how you treat her when no one else is watching. It's how you support her dreams, how you respect her opinions, how you honor her independence. It's in those moments when you show up for her as a partner and not just a lover. When you're emotionally attuned to her needs, before the heat of the moment, you're laying the groundwork for incredible chemistry when things do get heated. So ask yourself, are you connecting with her emotionally before making any move? Are you actively building that trust, that safety, and that anticipation? If you aren't, no amount of physical moves will ever bring the satisfaction you're both craving, because in the end, emotional connection is the real secret to igniting true desire. When you connect deeply with her, mentally and emotionally, the physical connection will come effortlessly. Trust me on this, it's the game changer. Build anticipation. Do you know what truly drives women wild? It's not always the big, grand gestures or the final act itself. It's the anticipation that builds along the way. Think about it. When you're waiting for something exciting, doesn't your heart race faster, your mind get more curious, your whole body tingle with excitement? That's exactly how anticipation works in intimacy. It multiplies the intensity of desire before a single move has even been made. Here's the truth. Rushing is the enemy of passion. So many people believe that pleasure begins when physical touch starts. Wrong. Pleasure begins in the waiting. In fact, anticipation is one of the most powerful psychological triggers of arousal. When you hold back, when you tease, when you make her wonder what's coming next, that suspense awakens her senses in a way nothing else can. She starts imagining, craving, and building the scene in her mind before you even lay a hand on her. And when her imagination gets involved, you've already won. Why does anticipation work so powerfully? Because the brain is the most important sex organ. Long before her body reacts, her mind is already on fire. You see, anticipation activates dopamine, the pleasure chemical, and makes her feel the thrill of excitement even before anything physical happens. That's why a slow buildup is not just foreplay. It's the secret fuel that makes everything afterwards so much more intense. Now let's get practical. How do you actually build anticipation in a way that makes her crazy for you? Let's break it down step by step. First, slow down everything you do. Imagine this: instead of rushing into kissing her lips, start with her forehead, her cheek, her jawline, and then pull away. Do you realize how powerful that moment becomes? She's left wondering, why didn't he kiss me yet? What's he waiting for? That longing, that gap is anticipation at its finest. The longer you delay gratification, the more her desire amplifies. Second, use your words strategically. Anticipation isn't just physical, it's verbal too. Whisper in her ear what you might do to her later, not what you're doing now. Use phrases like, I can't wait to, or, do you know what I'm going to do to you tonight? The trick is to describe it vividly but not give it away completely. You're painting a picture in her mind and letting her imagination run wild. And trust me, her imagination is far more powerful than anything you could rush into in the moment. Third, teasing touch. This is where anticipation becomes an art form. Instead of immediately going for the obvious spots, linger around them. Let your hands, your lips, your breath explore areas near, but not quite, where she expects. Glide your fingers along her thighs without touching the center. Trace her collarbone without moving straight to her chest. Do you feel the intensity building just by picturing it? That's anticipation at work. And don't underestimate the power of pauses. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is stop right when she thinks you're about to go further. Pull back, look into her eyes, smile, and then wait. That pause will drive her wild, because suddenly she's craving you more than ever. It's the classic principle of less is more. Every time you pull back, her desire pushes forward. But here's the deeper layer most people miss: anticipation isn't just about sex, it's about creating an experience that engages all her senses. Think about it. What if you dim the lights, put on music that sets the mood, and let the energy build before you even touch her? What if you send her a playful text during the day, hinting at what might happen tonight, so her mind is already spinning with possibilities hours before it begins? That's building anticipation outside the bedroom, and by the time you're together, the fire is already lit. Now, let's talk about timing. Anticipation thrives on rhythm, knowing when to give and when to withhold. If you go too slow for too long, she might get frustrated. If you rush, you kill the suspense. The secret is finding that sweet balance where she's constantly wondering, what's next? The unknown keeps her hooked. It's like a roller coaster. What makes it thrilling isn't just the drop. It's the slow climb up where you're holding your breath, gripping tighter, heart pounding, waiting for that moment when everything explodes. But here's the part most men never realize. Building anticipation shows her you value the journey, not just the destination. When you take your time, when you savor every second, you're telling her, I'm here for you. I'm not in a hurry. I want to enjoy every moment with you. That makes her feel desired in the deepest way. And when she feels that, her walls come down, her excitement doubles, and she goes crazy in ways you've never seen before. So let me ask you, when was the last time you slowed things down and truly built anticipation with her? When was the last time you made her wait just a little longer, let her imagination race, and then gave her what she was craving in a way that left her shaking with pleasure? If it's been a while, it's time to change the game. Because here's the truth: anyone can satisfy a physical urge, but not everyone can create an experience. Anticipation transforms intimacy into an unforgettable memory. It makes her look at you differently. It makes her want you more, not just in the moment, but long after it's over. And once you master the art of building anticipation, you'll never be forgotten. Master the art of touch. Touch is such a simple word, yet one of the most powerful languages in intimacy. Do you realize how much power your hands, your lips, even your breath hold when used the right way? The truth is, most people underestimate touch. They think it's just about contact, skin to skin. But no, touch is communication, it's expression, it's the bridge between desire and surrender. And when you master the art of touch, you don't just give pleasure, you create an unforgettable experience that makes her body and soul crave more. Now here's the question, why is touch so powerful? Because the skin is the largest organ in the body, and it's loaded with nerve endings that respond to the slightest stimulus. Every stroke, every graze, every whisper of your fingers sends signals straight to her brain, releasing dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, all the chemicals of love, bonding, and pleasure. That means touch is not random, it's science, but it's also art because it's about how you do it, not just where. So let's dive in. The first rule of touch: less is more. Gentle, teasing touches often drive her far crazier than going in strong and direct. Why? Because subtlety awakens her senses. Imagine running your fingertips slowly down her arm, barely touching, almost like a feather brushing against her skin. She feels the electricity! She starts anticipating what's next, and when anticipation mixes with touch, it explodes into desire. The second rule: explore beyond the obvious. Too many men think touch means heading straight for the most sensitive zones. Yes, those spots matter, but have you discovered the hidden treasures all over her body? Her neck, her back, the inside of her wrists, the curve of her hips behind her knees. These are loaded with sensitivity. When you treat her whole body like a map waiting to be explored, she feels worshipped, not just wanted. Do you understand how powerful that makes her feel? She thinks, he sees me, he values all of me. That emotional reaction multiplies the physical pleasure instantly. Now let's talk about pressure and rhythm. This is where touch becomes true art. Soft, feather, light strokes awaken her senses. Firm, steady pressure grounds her, makes her feel safe. A mix of both keeps her guessing. Don't be robotic, be dynamic. Stroke lightly, then press a little firmer. Move fast, then slow down suddenly. Hold her tight, then release gently. This unpredictability keeps her body alert, engaged, and craving what's next. Have you ever noticed how much more exciting a song feels when it changes tempo? Touch works the exact same way, and don't ignore the power of hands with intention. It's not about wandering aimlessly, it's about presence. When your touch is deliberate, she feels your focus. She knows you're fully there with her. You're not just touching to touch, you're touching to connect. That presence is magnetic. Now here's something most people never think about: the art of stopping. Sometimes the absence of touch is just as powerful as the touch itself. Imagine this. You're caressing her softly, she's melting under your hands, and then you pause. You pull back just long enough for her to miss it, to crave it, to want it even more. That pause creates a hunger inside her that makes your next touch feel 10 times stronger. Isn't that incredible? But let's go deeper. Because touch isn't only physical, it's emotional. When you touch with affection, with care, with reverence, she feels that. A caress can say, I desire you. But it can also say, you're safe with me, you're cherished. This emotional layer of touch is what separates casual contact from unforgettable intimacy. Have you ever noticed how a simple hug can make you feel completely different depending on the intention behind it? That's the secret. Intention fuels sensation. And here's a powerful tip. Synchronize your touch with your words and your eyes. When you stroke her cheek while looking deep into her eyes and whispering how beautiful she is, do you realize how overwhelming that is for her mind and body? You're engaging 3 senses at once. The brain goes into overdrive, and suddenly she's not just experiencing touch. She's experiencing an emotional storm of desire. Another layer to this art is listening through touch. Yes, listening. Her body will tell you everything if you pay attention. Notice her breathing. Does it get faster when you touch a certain spot? Notice her movements. Does she lean into your touch or pull away slightly? These signals are her body's language, and when you read them correctly, you'll know exactly where to go, how much pressure to apply, and when to change rhythm. Isn't that fascinating? Her body becomes your guide if you're present enough to notice. And finally, never forget the after touch. When the intensity is over, when passion has reached its peak, don't just pull away. Keep touching gently. Stroke her hair, rub her back, hold her close. Why? Because this is where oxytocin floods her system, the bonding hormone. It makes her feel loved, safe, connected. And this is the moment where she decides, consciously or unconsciously, whether she wants this experience with you again and again. So Remember, mastering the art of touch is not about technique alone. It's about awareness, rhythm, intention, and presence. When you use your hands, your lips, your body as instruments of connection, she doesn't just feel touched, she feels seen, valued, and desired. And when a woman feels that, she will go crazy for you every single time. Do you know what one of the sexiest skills in the bedroom is? It's not size, it's not stamina, it's not fancy tricks. It's communication! Yes, communication. People often think sex is just physical, but the truth is it's also verbal, emotional, and deeply psychological. When you know how to use your voice, your words, and your ability to listen, you unlock a level of intimacy that no physical move alone can ever achieve. Think about it. How often do we assume what our partner wants instead of simply asking? How many times do we guess instead of listening? And then we wonder why things feel disconnected or unsatisfying. The truth is, communication removes the guesswork and replaces it with connection, trust, and confidence. When you speak openly, when you encourage her to express herself, and when you respond to her signals, you're showing her that her pleasure matters to you. Isn't that exactly what makes someone feel desired and safe? Let's start with verbal communication. Words are powerful. Whispered at the right time, they can light her up instantly. Phrases like, "I love the way you feel," or "Tell me what you want right now," are not just words, they're invitations. They tell her, your voice matters, your desires matter, I'm here to listen. And when she feels that openness, she responds with more honesty, more passion, more vulnerability. That's where the magic happens. But communication isn't just about talking, it's about listening. Yes, really listening. Her body is constantly speaking, and so are her words. Maybe she says, slower. Or maybe she doesn't use words at all. Maybe it's the way her breath quickens, the way her back arches, the way her fingers grip you tighter. If you're truly tuned in, you'll notice these signals and adjust instantly. Do you realize how powerful that makes you in her eyes? She thinks, he gets me, he understands me. I don't even need to explain. That level of unspoken communication is intoxicating. And let's be clear, asking is not weakness. Some men fear asking questions because they think it makes them look inexperienced. Wrong! Asking is strength because it shows confidence, it shows maturity, it shows you care about her experience as much as your own. Imagine saying, "Do you like this?" Or "Do you want it faster?" In the heat of the moment. Those questions don't kill the mood, they ignite it. Why? Because you're pulling her into the moment with you, making her an active part of the experience. That's collaboration, and collaboration is sexy. Now let's take it further. Communication is also about expressing desire. Don't hold back from telling her how much you want her. Say it out loud. "You're driving me crazy right now. I can't stop thinking about you. You feel so good." These raw, genuine statements make her feel irresistible. And when a woman feels irresistible, her confidence skyrockets, her passion multiplies, and the entire experience becomes electric. Haven't you noticed how much more alive intimacy feels when both partners are vocal and expressive? But communication doesn't stop at the bedroom door. It starts before and continues after. Imagine this: during the day, you send her a playful message hinting at what you want to do to her later. Do you know what that does? It plants a seed of anticipation in her mind, and she spends hours thinking about it. That's sexy communication outside the bedroom. And afterward, when it's over, asking her, "What did you love the most?" Or, "What do you want more of next time?" makes her feel heard, valued, and excited for the future. Here's another truth. Communication builds trust. Many women hold back in intimacy because they fear judgment. They wonder, what if he thinks I'm too much? What if he doesn't like what I want? But when you create a safe space through open communication, those fears disappear. She feels free to express her fantasies, her desires, her boundaries, and when that freedom exists, guess what? Passion skyrockets because she's no longer holding anything back. Don't underestimate the power of tone and timing. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. A gentle whisper can send shivers down her spine. A confident command like, "Don't move," can make her heart race. A playful tease like, "You want more, don't you?" can drive her crazy with desire. The same words, delivered differently, create entirely new experiences. This is why communication isn't boring, it's thrilling, dynamic, and endlessly creative. But let's not forget, communication also includes non-verbal signals. Eye contact is communication. A smile is communication. A deep breath, a groan, a moan, these are powerful cues. When you respond to those cues with your own, you create a feedback loop of pleasure. It's like a dance. You lead, she follows, then she leads and you follow. That back and forth is the heartbeat of great intimacy. And here's something that might shock you. Communication makes mistakes sexy. Yes, mistakes. Maybe you try something and she doesn't respond well. Instead of feeling embarrassed, laugh about it together, talk about it, adjust. That honesty turns awkwardness into intimacy. It shows you're comfortable enough to explore, to experiment, to grow together. And what could be sexier than that? So remember this, communication isn't just about words. It's about honesty, listening, expression, and presence. It's about using your voice, your eyes, your breath, your entire being to connect with her. When you master this, intimacy stops being just physical. It becomes emotional, mental, and unforgettable. Because at the end of the day, the sexiest thing you can ever say to your partner is simple. I want to know you. I want to feel you. I want to understand you. And when she hears that, when she feels that, you've already won. Do you know what kills passion faster than anything else? Predictability. When every move feels the same, every touch follows the same pattern, every rhythm is repeated like a script, boredom creeps in. And when boredom enters the bedroom, desire starts to fade. But when you introduce rhythm changes and surprise, suddenly everything feels alive again. It's the difference between a flat, monotone song and a piece of music that makes your heart race, your body move, your soul respond. Variety is the spice that makes intimacy unforgettable. Let's break this down. Rhythm is more than just speed. It's the pace of your movements, the timing of your touch, the rise and fall of intensity. Imagine for a moment if you stayed at the exact same pace from start to finish. What happens? At first, it feels good, but after a while, the body adapts, the mind wanders, and the excitement weakens. But if you change rhythm, slow then fast, soft then intense, you shock her body back into focus, you wake up her senses and keep her engaged in the moment. Why does this work so powerfully? Because the body craves stimulation, but the brain craves novelty. When something is unpredictable, the brain releases dopamine, the chemical of excitement and reward. That means surprise literally makes pleasure feel stronger. Haven't you ever noticed how a roller coaster is thrilling not just because of the speed, but because you don't know what's coming next? Intimacy works the same way. Now here's the secret. Control the pace deliberately. Don't let rhythm happen by accident. Slow it down intentionally. Speed it up suddenly. Pause completely when she least expects it. Imagine moving gently, building tension, then stopping altogether. Just looking into her eyes, smiling, waiting. Can you feel the suspense that creates? She's begging in her mind for you to continue. Her body aching for more, and then when you give it back, the release is explosive. Switching rhythm also means switching style. Don't just repeat the same pattern over and over. Combine long, deep movements with short, shallow ones. Mix steady strokes with teasing ones. Blend consistency with surprise. For example, kiss her slowly, then suddenly deepen it. Touch her softly, then add firmness. Move rhythmically, then break the rhythm with a sudden shift. This unpredictability makes her body and mind stay fully alert. She's never bored, never distracted, because she's too busy wondering, what's he going to do next? And don't underestimate the power of teasing with rhythm. Sometimes the greatest pleasure comes not from intensity, but from denial. Go faster just long enough for her to think you're about to give her everything, and then slow down again. Pull back right when she thinks the climax is near. Do you realize how crazy that drives her? You're stretching out the anticipation, keeping her on the edge, making the eventual release so much more powerful. It's like pulling a bowstring tighter and tighter. The arrow flies farther because of the tension you built. Now let's add another layer, surprise through variety of sensations. Rhythm isn't just about speed, it's about how you mix touches, movements, and even the environment. Switch from using your hands to your lips, from your lips to your breath, from your breath to your whole body pressed against hers. Change the angle, the position, the setting. One moment gentle strokes, the next playful bites. One moment warmth, the next cool air against her skin. Each shift is a surprise, and each surprise resets her body's excitement to maximum. But here's where many people fail. They think surprise means chaos. No, surprise works only when it's balanced with control. Too much randomness feels sloppy, but well-timed shifts feel intentional and thrilling. Think of it like dancing. If every step is the same, it's boring. But if you add spins, dips, pauses, and bursts of energy, it becomes art. Intimacy works exactly the same way. And don't forget, The greatest surprise is confidence. Imagine being with someone who suddenly takes charge, changes the pace, flips the energy, without hesitation, without asking, just leading with certainty. That's sexy. Why? Because surprise mixed with confidence makes her feel she's with someone who knows exactly what he's doing, and that trust allows her to let go completely. Now let's talk about the psychology behind this. The human mind thrives on patterns, but it also craves the break from them. When things become predictable, the brain stops paying attention. When things shift suddenly, the brain floods with awareness. That means surprise literally forces her to focus on you, on the moment, on the experience. You're not just touching her body, you're controlling her attention, her emotions, her entire state of being. Isn't that incredible? And here's something many overlook: surprise outside the bedroom fuels surprise inside it. Send her a message she wasn't expecting. Change the routine of where or when intimacy happens. Do something spontaneous. Initiate at a moment she didn't anticipate. That unpredictability keeps her mind hooked on you because she never fully knows what's coming next. And the more she feels that thrill, the more she associates you with excitement and passion. Remember, rhythm and surprise aren't just techniques. They're a mindset. They say, I'm here to explore, not just perform. I'm here to give you variety, not monotony. I'm here to create an experience, not a routine. And when you bring that mindset, when you master the art of switching rhythm and adding surprise, you transform intimacy into an adventure. Every encounter feels new, fresh, exhilarating. She doesn't just want you, she craves you, because with you, it's never predictable, never ordinary, always unforgettable. Confidence and presence. Confidence, just the word itself carries power, doesn't it? But let me tell you, confidence in intimacy isn't about arrogance. It's not about showing off, and it's definitely not about pretending to know everything. True confidence is presence. It's the ability to be fully in the moment, to trust yourself, and to make your partner feel safe, desired, and completely consumed by your focus. Do you understand how magnetic that is? Let's start with this truth. Women can sense insecurity instantly. If you're in your head, doubting yourself, worrying if you're good enough, she feels it. Your energy shifts, your movements become hesitant, your touch lacks certainty. And what happens then? She doesn't feel free to let go because she's picking up your doubts instead of your strength. But when you radiate confidence, when your hands move with intention, when your eyes lock with hers, when your energy says, I know what I want, and I'm fully here with you, her guard melts. She feels safe to surrender, to unleash her passion because she knows you've got her. Now, what exactly does confidence look like in the bedroom? It's not pounding your chest or trying to dominate every moment. No, confidence is subtle, grounded, controlled. It's how you touch her with certainty, how you guide her body gently but firmly, how you own the space without rushing or second guessing. Confidence says, I don't need to prove myself. I just need to be present. And that presence is intoxicating. Presence means you're not distracted. You're not thinking about work, not worrying about performance, not lost in your own head. You're fully tuned into her. Her breathing, her reactions, her needs. Have you ever noticed how powerful it feels when someone looks at you like you're the only person in the world? That's presence. When you bring that energy to intimacy, she feels like nothing else exists but the two of you in that moment. Isn't that what every woman craves? Here's something important. Confidence grows from preparation, not perfection. Too many people think they need to be flawless to feel confident. Wrong. Confidence comes from being willing to learn, to grow, to explore. It comes from knowing that even if something doesn't go as planned, you can adjust, laugh, and keep moving forward. Do you know how sexy it is when a man owns the moment instead of panicking over small mistakes? Imagine you try something and it doesn't land perfectly. If you freeze, the energy dies. But if you smile, whisper, let's try this instead, and keep going, the energy stays alive. That's confidence. Now let's talk about the body language of confidence. Stand tall, even in intimacy. Keep steady eye contact. Don't be afraid to hold her gaze. Move deliberately, not frantically. Breathe deeply and evenly, because your breath sets the tone for hers. Do you realize how much a steady breath communicates calm and control? If your breathing is calm and assured, she feels safe. If it's erratic and nervous, she feels uncertain. That's how deeply presence affects her. And don't underestimate the power of leading with confidence. Women love a man who takes initiative, who guides the energy instead of waiting passively. That doesn't mean ignoring her desires. It means creating a flow. then listening and adjusting as you go. It's like dancing. If both people hesitate, the rhythm dies. But if one leads with confidence while paying attention to the other, the dance becomes beautiful. Intimacy is the same. Lead with confidence, follow with presence, and she will lose herself in the moment with you. Another layer of confidence is vocal presence. Speak with certainty, even if it's just a whisper. I want you. Don't move. You feel so good. These words, said with conviction, send shivers through her entire body. Why? Because they show you're not afraid of your own desire. You're not hiding it. You're embracing it. That authenticity is irresistible, and let's not forget, confidence without respect is arrogance. True presence means respecting her boundaries, tuning into her comfort, and showing her that her pleasure is as important as yours. Nothing builds trust faster than a partner who is both confident and considerate. Do you know how powerful it feels for a woman to know that you're in control, yet still listening, still caring, still prioritizing her? That's the perfect balance, strength with sensitivity. Psychologically, confidence is contagious. When you're grounded and present, she absorbs that energy. Her body relaxes, her mind quiets, her passion flows more freely. On the other hand, if you're nervous and disconnected, she mirrors that too. This means your state of mind sets the entire tone of intimacy. Isn't that incredible? By simply being confident and present, you can transform the whole experience for both of you. And here's a deeper truth. Confidence isn't about ego, it's about self-acceptance. It's about knowing that you don't have to be anyone else. You don't have to copy anyone else. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone else. You just have to be fully you, unapologetically, authentically, passionately. When you own who you are, she feels it. And nothing is sexier than authenticity. So ask yourself, are you fully present when you're with her? Do you silence the doubts, the distractions, and instead focus all your attention on the connection in front of you? Do your hands move with certainty, your voice with conviction, your body with purpose? Because when you bring confidence and presence into intimacy, you don't just touch her body, you touch her soul. And that is what makes her go crazy in ways no technique alone ever could.